Hello and welcome to another episode of my Working with Todoist series. My name is Pullein and this week it's all about your purpose and your objectives. And this is a board that I have in my Todoist that I often get questions asked about. And yet I've never actually done a dedicated video on why I use such a board. So that is what I'm going to show you this week. Now, before we go any further, if you do get any value from this video, please help me by clicking on that like button below. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet and you want to get all the latest tips, tricks and news on using Todoist, then please subscribe to my channel. Okay, let me take you into my Todoist demo account now and I will show you everything you need to know about a purpose and objectives board. Okay, first up, before we get into the purpose and objectives folder I have right here, what I want to do is just give you a quick tip. One of the things I've discovered recently in Todoist is sometimes, particularly when you're working late like I do, I often work until 1 a.m. in the morning, I end up with a lot of these overdue tasks. Now, you know you've got overdue tasks when this turns red. Now, what you can do, you can go through all of these very quickly like this and decide what you want to do. But the thing is what I find is that once the date changes, once you go over midnight, then you get a mix of overdue and current tasks. So what I do just to speed things up is I go into search and I just type overdue and then hit return. That will then bring up everything that's overdue. Now, this is my demo account, so of course I'm going to have overdue tasks. Normally, before I do this video, I update the dates, and then you can go into reschedule. Now, most of the tasks, hopefully, that you have overdue are just those little routine tasks that you did, but you just didn't check off. So all you need to do is reschedule and reschedule for today, and boom, you've now changed that, and everything is current. So there you go. That's just a quick tip. Okay, the purpose of this video, though, is to show you the purpose and objectives folder that I have right here. Now, I put this at the top of my projects list right here simply because I actually like to go into this usually 2 or 3 times a week just to make sure that I'm staying focused. But let's just move the sidebar. To do that, you can either click on the hamburger up here. You can click that and that will disappear. You can click on the hamburger to bring it back. Or the fastest way, if you see if I hovered that over there, you can just type M, which I'm going to do now, and that removes it. Now, in my purpose and objectives, I have 4 sections. Now, just to give you a heads up on this, I did do a video on this about 3 years ago, but that was before boards and it looked a bit like this. And these here, these sections were actually sub-projects. Now it's much easier. I find it's even more effective now because I can see it as a board. So what do I have in my purpose and objectives board? Well, the first thing is I have over here on the left my this week's focus. This is just a reminder, if everything starts to go pear-shaped, everything starts to go crazy, all I need to do is give myself 5 minutes, come back here, and these 2 areas here, this week's focus and this week's objectives, will get me back on track. So my focus this week is a workshop I'm fictitiously doing for Apple next week. That's on the 22nd of July. And the time sector system book. I am currently focused on writing the process of the time sector system. Now, one of the things that I haven't covered yet, and I will cover this in a future episode, is a new feature that Todoist brought out called description. Now, I'm putting in the date of the workshop here, 22nd of July. That's next Thursday. So I'm putting the date of the workshop right in there, so I can actually see it in the board view. You can see it now. One of the things is you can actually see it also in the list view. You can see it comes up here in a slightly lighter color, and I find this, I've been struggling, to be honest, to see what usage I could have for these descriptions, but I do find it very useful to put in dates when I've got a workshop. So this week, which is a true one, I was doing a workshop for the IYF camp, and that was on Tuesday and Thursday this week. And so I just have the dates in there just to remind me that these are the days that I'm doing the workshop. For those of you who are not aware of the description, if I click on here, you'll see down here, I have the word description. I can actually just tap on that and say, I'm going to say this is a test because there we go. And then once I save it, and you'll see that it's up there, but I can also see it in the board view. This is a test, and you can delete that, of course, very easily. Just click on there, delete, and then save. So the description can be quite useful. I've just been struggling to find a usage for it, but there you go. Now, this week's objectives, these are the 3 things that I really must complete. These are my must-dos this week. And the IYF camp is a youth camp that I really love doing. I did it last year and I did it this year, and I love doing it because those kids are just so inspiring to me. They are the future, and I really wanted to do a fantastic job. So I put that in my objectives because it just reminds me that this is special. I mean, all my workshops are special, but this one particularly so because I really want these kids to learn the skills of developing their goals and managing their time at that age so that they can go into the working environment knowing how to manage their time. It's just a wonderful opportunity to me. The other thing is I want to write 5,000 words of my time sector system book. Now, my goal actually is to write 1,000 words a day. But for example, on Wednesday, I had to travel to another city. It was an all-day event, and I didn't really get that many words written. I think I managed to write 500 words. So there are days when I can't do that 1,000 words, and Saturdays are generally a very busy day. Sundays are also busy days. So I can actually that's a realistic number of words to write each week. Complete Tony Robbins' Unlimited Power course. I haven't done that yet, and I really want to get that finished. And then the objectives for the month is to complete 50% of the time sector system. First draft, exercise a minimum of 5 times. So that gives me 6 days of rest if I need it. And prepare the time sector system course 2021 update outline. And again, I'm using the description here, what needs to be updated, added. So it just helps me, those tasks that you have that you don't actually have to do anything with. It's more of those, what I describe as an incubator thing you just have to think about. Well, having it in my purpose and objectives board means that every time I go in there, I see that question. I go, oh yeah, it just helps to keep my subconscious mind aware of it so it can bubble up some ideas of what I can add or update in the course. And then I have this quarter's objectives. And so there's a business objective there related to growth. There's a personal health one there related to my body fat percentage. And also, again, my big project this quarter, which is to write the time sector book. And I really want to get the first draft completed by the end of September so I can get it sent out to publishers to see if I can find a publisher for the book. So that's essentially what I use this for. It keeps me focused on the things that I want to get done this week, this month, and this quarter. Now, another tip I should give you is really be strict on what you put in here. If you have like 10 or 20 things in here, it's not going to work. That's just too many things, and it's going to go off your screen. You want to keep this clean and tight. That's kind of my watchword with Todoist these days is keep it clean and tight. These are the important things this month, this week, and this quarter, and I'm not going to let them slip. And so at the very, very minimum, I would go into here when I do my weekly planning session. Of course, I'm updating this area when I do the weekly planning session. I review this to see how I'm doing against my month's objectives and my quarter objectives. And then at the end of the month, I update this column. Of course, I'm updating these as well. And then at the end of the quarter, I'm looking ahead and seeing what my quarter's objectives are. Now, this does go hand in hand with the 2021 goals one. Now here, this is just a sample, so this probably isn't going to be linking to that particular board. This is my demo account. But again, I can actually use this to look for what I'm going to use as my objectives for the quarter. So there you go. That's my whole purpose and objectives board. That's what I use it for. It's super useful, and it really does help you to keep focused on what you've identified as being important to you this week, this month, and this quarter. I hope you found this useful. I hope finally, because I have had a lot of questions about what is this, the purpose of this board. Well, there you go. This is the purpose of this board. It reminds me of what my purpose is this week, this month. It keeps me focused on what's really important. So there you go. Thank you so much for watching this episode. And it just remains for me now to wish you all a very productive week. Well, thank you very much for watching this video. Now, I would just like to say, if you are ready to decide what you want out of your life the next 10, 20, 30 years, and you want to be able to take that and build it into your daily life, then I have a course that's going to help you do exactly that. The Time and Life Mastery 2021 edition will take you through the process of deciding what you want for your life, and then it will show you how to build that into your daily life using the time sector system. So I hope you join this course. It's an amazing course, and I know you will not be disappointed, and I would really like to see you there. I'm here to help you to develop the best life you possibly can through becoming better organized and more productive, and that is what this course will show you what to do. Please join me in that course. Full details are in the details below.